Is it possible to become an overnight sensation online? The rise of Andrew Tate definitely has us believing so. Whether you love or hate the kickboxer turned entrepreneur who then became one of the top 10 most Googled people in 2022, neither the superfans nor the haters can deny that the marketing strategy he deployed to explode his personal brand and then make millions on the back of it was nothing short of marketing genius. So in today's video, we'll take a look at the 3 secret strategies he's used to grow his impact and influence and make the big bucks. And we'll also dive into how you can apply those strategies in your own way to your own brand. Hi, my name is Yoka. On this channel, we discuss all things high converting content. Before we dive into today's video, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Andrew Tate did something in 2022 that very few people have managed to do before him. He went viral for months on end, flooded the internet with his content to the point of no escaping, even after he was banned from all social media platforms. How he was able to distribute an avalanche of his content online is something that we will dive into in strategy number 3. So make sure that you stick it out until the end of the video. Now, before we dive into the tactics he used, let's take a look at a couple of his numbers. So prior to being removed from Instagram, he had a following of 4.7 million. And on YouTube, he was up to 744,000 subscribers. He had been banned on Twitter over the past 5 years, but was allowed back on the platform after Elon Musk acquired it. And within those 4 months of him being back on the platform, he grew his follower count to 5 million. And the wild guess is that he's making upwards of 10 million per month on the back of this. And that is only from his Hustlers University that was now rebranded as The Real World and his War Room alone. That is not counting any of his other investments or businesses. And although I don't completely agree with the term overnight success or sensation, because in my opinion, he already had traction in the kickboxing and sports world, and then he did his stint on Big Brother UK back in 2016, which in my opinion, doesn't make him a complete stranger who became world famous overnight. But I do believe that the strategies he deployed in the last year or so deserve our attention. So what are those 3 immensely impactful strategies he deployed? Number 1, he 100% knows who his target audience is. This might seem really obvious as a strategy, but a lot of us are unwilling to pinpoint our target audience with the laser accuracy that Andrew Tate has. So for Andrew, his target audience is men aged anywhere between 16 and 35, maybe even 40. I think in his case, age isn't really that important, but what is important is the following: the pain points. So on the one hand, we have the younger men who are really trying to figure out, what does it mean to be a man in this current world? Where do I fit in? What is my place? On the other hand, we have men who feel that there is a war against masculinity going on. We do live in sort of the first generation where genders are becoming more fluid. And some men simply don't like that. They want to stick to that more traditional structure. But in the current climate, they are not really able to express that without facing backlash. And then I would also say that both of those subgroups feel like they are being pushed into a direction that they're not willing to go in. They're pushed into that rat race, that 9 to 5, that workers mentality. And they're really wondering, is this all there is to life? So when you look at those 2 positions, on the one hand, you have these men who are feeling lost, which is normal at a younger age, but while you're in it, can feel very scary because you're trying to figure out where you fit in. And then on the other hand, we have men who feel like they have been wronged. They are warred against, and no one really understands them. Now, before you think like, well, this sounds like a little bit of a sob story, from a marketing perspective, this is great, because in marketing and in business, the bigger the pain, the easier the sell. And so in comes Andrew Tate, who has done really well for himself, and he says, hey, this is what it means to be a man in today's world. And yes, you're right, you have been wronged, and no, none of this is your fault. And he does that so brilliantly while showcasing all these obvious markers of success: the watches, the cars, the girls, the yachts, the lifestyle. And you might not like that, but it works. It has always worked and it will continue to work because the desire for wealth is a very powerful one. On top of that, and this is another key takeaway from this strategy, Andrew Tate is truly only concerned with speaking directly to his core audience. He does not care whether or not his content is appreciated by anyone who falls outside of that core audience. So many of us as we market are afraid to become hyper clear on our target audience because we fear potentially losing out on some clients. And even if we do, then we're afraid of offending anyone. And that's something that we will dive a little bit deeper into in strategy number 2. But for now, the key takeaway here is become hyper clear on your target audience, their pain, and then only concern yourself with speaking directly to that segment in the market. Strategy number 2, a captivating message. Andrew Tate knows how to use his words to stop the scroll and get people to listen. And the reason that he is able to get your attention is because his messaging is both countercultural and controversial. Nothing gets more attention than a controversial take on a popular topic, like, let's say, feminism or LGBTQ acceptance. On top of that, we can't forget that Andrew is the son of a chess grandmaster, and he definitely learned this skill from his father to think 2, 3, even 10 steps ahead. In his sit down with Patrick Bet-David, he openly admits that he likes instigating these uncomfortable conversations and that he specifically chooses his words as to emotionally trigger people.
It's so easy for me to win debates against people because they get so pissed off with what I say. I say things that they know are true and that they agree with, but I say it in a way that angers them emotionally, and they get caught up in their brain because they're saying, he's saying the truth, but I'm pissed off by how he's saying it. So I want to argue with him, but he's right. So instead of saying men are physically stronger than women, I'll say females are weak. Females are weak. Well, females are weak. Females are weak. Men are strong. Females are weak. No, but I'm right. And he knows I'm right. But he's mad now, and so is she, and they sit there, and it happened on Dave Portnoy. You end up having a whole group of people sitting there trying to argue, well, some women are strong like men, trying to argue the fact that women are as strong as men physically, because I've emotionally controlled them all and upset them all. And then I do a podcast, and I get billions and millions of views and unlimited likes against good debaters like Dave and his little crew by just emotionally controlling them.
Controversial messaging like this tends to create a divide between an angry mob on the one side and a cult-like following on the other. Now, you might be thinking, Yoko, why in heaven's name would I want to create an angry mob? That doesn't seem like a smart idea. But here's why it might still work in your favor. Angry people or triggered people will indirectly help you increase your reach because they will share your content for you for free. And this is also what happened for Tate. So the people that hated him were sharing his content simply to point out how much they hated it or how much they disagreed with it, and without properly realizing it, they were actually helping him spread his message even further. But on the flip side of that angry mob are the diehard fans, that cult-like following, and that is where the money is made. Because a person who sort of knows who you are, isn't against you, but doesn't have any strong feelings about you whatsoever, will be very hard to sell to. A diehard fan, on the other hand, will hand over all of their money for whatever product you have to offer, no questions asked. And that type of dedicated client is something that any business owner would say yes to. So how can you implement some of this in your own content? Start by asking yourself these questions. 1, where am I people pleasing? 2, what topics do I feel strongly about, and how can I share this with the world? 3, how can I choose my words deliberately so they still convey the same message, but they also emotionally trigger my viewer? Hey, hopefully you're enjoying these strategies mentioned in this video so far. If you are looking to grow your own immensely impactful personal brand, there is a link for you in the description down below that you can click, and then you can book a free consultation call with someone on our team, and we would love to show you what some potential next steps in building your online influence can look like. So head over to that description, and then I look forward to speaking with you soon. Now, without further ado, let's get back to the video. Strategy number 3, using other people's platforms and having people work for you for free. willingly. How is it possible that after Andrew Tate got banned, he was still everywhere and new content was being shared every single day? Is because Tate was smart enough to leverage other people's accounts on these platforms, and he did that in two ways. The first way he did this was by appearing as a guest on other people's podcasts, and some of the biggest podcasts in the world had him on, and then they would share this episode and the snippets with their audience. And this gave Tate yet another audience to tap into, but also a way to still distribute his message and increase his reach without needing his own YouTube channel or Instagram account. For the podcast or talk show host, this was a great move to get more views because Andrew Tate was such a hot topic or wanted person, and the risk of getting their account shut down was relatively minimal. A complete ban from all of these platforms, like the one that Andrew Tate underwent, is very unheard of. And most of these platforms actually work with a 3 strikes and you're out kind of system. So even for these podcast channels to publish one episode, at the most they would have gotten 1 strike, and really there's no consequences attached to that first strike. The second way that he leveraged other people's accounts is with his affiliate program for his membership site, The Real World. And a lot of businesses have affiliate programs, and the way that it works is really simple. I can sign up to become an affiliate, and they will give me a unique link that I can then use to promote their product. And if anyone buys or signs up while using my unique link, I get paid a commission. That is not something new. A lot of businesses are using it. Now, this is where Andrew Tate's approach to his affiliate program is different from most businesses. So Andrew actually encourages his affiliates to repurpose his long form content as a way to drive more sales. So he's basically telling them to take his most flammable bits and pieces from interviews, turn them into short form content for TikTok or Instagram, and then share it across these platforms. And then what the affiliate does is they post their unique link in the bio of that account, and whenever they make a sale, again, you guessed it, they get paid. And so in a way, he is getting thousands of people to work for him for free willingly, because there are thousands of these Andrew Tate Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube accounts that are not run by him or his team. And on top of that, he only has to pay for this amount of content distribution if the affiliate actually makes a sale. And so he has these enormous amounts of content being repurposed and shared without him having to lift a finger. But how does that explain that so many of his videos keep going viral? Whether or not a video goes viral depends on 2 things, and it is click-through rate plus watch through time. The more people click on a video and the longer they watch it, the more the algorithm will push that piece of content to more people. The combination of Andrew Tate's laser-focused target audience, his ability to get and keep your attention, and the army behind him that is repurposing his most flammable sound bites makes that his content goes viral time and time again. Which is ironic because he got banned from every major social media platform, yet his content is still being suggested everywhere because he does such a good job at captivating his viewers. So they can cancel his accounts, but it would be impossible to cancel every single account that is repurposing and sharing his content. And that is really the stroke of genius here. So how can you leverage other people's accounts? Firstly, get yourself invited as a guest on other people's podcasts or YouTube lives or Instagram lives. And then if you have a large enough base of diehard fans, start thinking about implementing an affiliate program in the way that The Real World has. Next up, we'll discover how Iman Gadzhi gained 346,000 subscribers in just 1 month.